Things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. We met for the first time on November 1st, made it official on November 4th, and then he asked me to have sex with him that same night, on the day we made it official. Which I said no, of course, because that's crazy. We were watching anime together, and I said that one of the girls on the screen was hot. Like, I was just admiring one of the characters. And he started crying and said that he didn't think I loved him because I was calling cartoon characters hot. Literal cartoons. He cried for like 10 minutes about it and like would not speak to me. From the minute we started dating, he asked for my location and would check it constantly. He always had to know where I was going at all times. And he would get mad if I didn't tell him. If I wanted to go to Dunkin's 3 minutes down the road, I had to tell him. If I had a last-minute rehearsal, I had to tell him because he needed to know where I was at all times. And he would spam me with texts until I told him where I was going. There was one time I stayed at school for an hour longer because I was talking to my music director for a show, and I forgot to tell him because, like, I'm talking to a teacher. I'm not going to text my boyfriend that I'm at the school. He checked my location, saw that I hadn't left yet, and he accused me of hiding at the school and cheating on him with his best friend. Throughout the entire relationship, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. I had known his best friend for 4 years, and we were just friends. But every time I was with him, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. He tried to watch me use the bathroom. His bathroom was connected to his bedroom, but it was also connected to the living room. There were 2 doors. I locked one of them, and I forgot to lock the one that connected to his bedroom. He opened the door, and I said, "No, I'm not comfortable with that. Leave. Like, I don't want you watching that. That's weird." He said, "Okay," and left the door open a crack and watched me through said crack. He constantly asked for pictures and got upset when I didn't send them to him. Even, like, they weren't even nudes. They were just, like, "I want to see a picture of you in the mirror," or "I want a picture of your face." But he would only ask, like, at night, at, like, 10 p.m. And at that point, I'm in my bed, I have my bonnet on, I have a face mask on, I'm not doing that, I'm not getting up. And frankly, I didn't even want to send the pictures anyways. Like, my philosophy is there's no need for pictures if you're going to see it in person. There's no reason to risk that and get them sent around. So I was totally against it. I was like, no, I'm not sending pictures. And he would get mad at me and constantly be like, "Please, please, please, please send them. Please, I need to see it right now." And it's like, no, you can wait. He told me that he needed to be my top priority above everything and that I wasn't making enough time for him. And mind you, I was spending all of my free time with him. I did not have any time to myself because I was devoting my entire life to this guy. I do theater, so our rehearsal schedule is pretty, like, intensive. We have a lot of rehearsals. Any day that I didn't have a rehearsal, I was at his house. I'm not gonna skip a rehearsal to see my boyfriend because that's ridiculous. So he actually got mad at me when I wasn't spending time with him, even though I put all of my free time into him. He told me that I had too many friends and spent too much time with them, so he told me that he wanted to convert me to introversion. In doing so, he drove me away from all of my friends. I didn't speak to my best friend for maybe 2 months because he was convinced that I had too many friends and didn't make enough time for him, even though he was, like, the only person I ever saw. I was at his house so much that his family was like, "Don't your parents want to see you?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I literally can't." We fought a lot during our relationship, which is normal. It's a high school relationship. You're not going to expect much else. But the issue was we couldn't talk through it because he never heard out my side of the story. If he had done something to wrong me, which happened a lot, I would bring it up with him to explain why it made me upset and, like, "Hey, like, we're fine. I just want you to know that you did this to me and it hurt me." He wouldn't listen to me at all and would just say that I was overreacting or, like, blame it on me and be like, "It's your fault. You should have spoken up." He said that a lot. He was like, "You should have told me in the moment." I did. And you didn't listen and you kept doing what you were doing to me. Because of all of this, he made a 2-minute apology video, pretty much blaming all of the things he did to me on having too much caffeine. Mind you, he had 11 Celsiuses in 1 week. He was fine. It was not the caffeine's fault. After all of this, I tried to break up with him 3 times. He said no the first 2 times, which is kind of crazy because if I'm saying I want to break up, you don't just be like, no, we can no, we're breaking up, we're done. Months after we finally did break up, he confronted me about the rumors I was spreading, which was just me telling my story because he, like, assaulted me. So I was just sharing my story, and when I explained my side of the story to him, he said he didn't remember, and he asked if I had any evidence. Evidence of assault? No. It was all in person. Do you want me to whip out an audio recording? Like, what? But anyways, I hope this was entertaining because my ex-boyfriend was actually evil. Thank God I was only with him for 2 months, but it could have been a lot longer. Finally put my foot down and broke up with him on the 3rd try. But thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry if you had a similar experience, because it actually is the worst feeling.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'll never be friends with someone who is associated with my ex. Been there, done that, and I have definitely learned my lesson. So to summarize my relationship with this guy, we dated for like 2 months and then he cheated on me, so we broke up. And obviously how most stories go, this girl did message me and played the victim and said that she never knew about our relationship and she did not know what was going on. And at the time I was very young, very dumb, and obviously I thought that she was telling the truth. So I decided to be friends with her and we ended up becoming quite close. So long story short, she ended up going behind my back, making out with him, and then proceeded to hide it from me for 2 whole weeks. And then when she did tell me, she made it seem like he never actually did cheat on me and it was not that big of a deal. I knew deep down that even though I did not like the guy at all anymore, it was still wrong for me to have a friend who would do me so dirty. So I cut her off for a good like 3 to 4 months. And she would always be making like new TikTok accounts and messaging me on TikTok because I had her blocked on everything else. And firstly, she was attacking my character and saying that I was immature for cutting her off. But then her attacks turned into apologies. She told me about how horrible the guy treated her and that they ended up dating but only for a couple days. And then she's completely over him and she wants nothing to do with him. And all she wants is our friendship back. And at some point, I genuinely missed our friendship and I genuinely thought that she was gonna leave him in the past. So I took her back. And honestly, I really did miss this girl because she was a big part of my life. And when we became friends again, even though we weren't in the same country because I was on holiday, I still felt whole again. But then the other day, I was on my phone scrolling through TikTok and one of her reposts popped up. The repost was about how she misses her ex, and I automatically knew that she was referring to the guy that we both dated, so I had to message her. But what I didn't expect from her is for her to tell me that she's still not fully over him and she doesn't know if she ever will be. In that moment, I had a very important decision to make, and that was whether I protect my peace and leave or stay friends with her and bear through the fact that she still likes my ex. And then I realized that that was a boundary that I could not cross, so I had to cut her off. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a very difficult thing for me to do because I knew that she would try to weasel her way out of it again and make me sound like I'm a bad person. But I just knew that to protect my own peace, I needed to create a boundary between me and her, and that was the boundary. At the end of the day, I did have to tell her that it's nothing against her. As a person, she can feel the way she feels towards anybody, but that's just not someone I want to associate with. Do you guys think that I did the right thing?